Detector online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Well, fuck me sideways. Hold the line! Hold the line! Hold the line! You shall not pass!
Something to think about if you throw trash on Texas highways. Somebody up there is going to be watching.
Oh no, you did not shoot that green shit at me!
I have you now.
Watch the birdie!
Must go faster.
Inconceivable!
Say hello to my little friend!
Come out, wherever you are.
Peekaboo!
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
It's over, Anakin! I'm at the high ground! Don't try it! 1 o'clock! Range! 590! Armor piercing, loaded!
Special delivery!
Target this...
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Gotcha, bitch!
Ooh. Okay, sorry guys, fucked that up a second. Hey everybody, how you doing? You know what time it is. I know what time it is. That's right. It's time for Syntext Live. I hope you guys are doing really well tonight. And before we get going, we did our start up there, and I just want to give you guys a quick toast. For YouTube's sake, this is grape juice, but it might have gone through some fermentation. So, here's to everybody's health. Now, here's the skinny. Originally, this was supposed to be a call-in show tonight. However, we got a storm coming in, and you guys know that things get kind of iffy here if we don't have everything lined up just right. And chances are we might drop the stream. You guys know if the stream drops, we're done. Okay, we don't play that game. StreamYards is kind of picky. But without further ado, let's get right into this. And we have a recap incoming for the past week. And by the way, I'd have more pictures, guys, but apparently StreamYards is being a jerk. So let me pull that off, and let's pull up the next one that came in. You guys know what it is. It is my ship. And yes, I will continue to do that as somebody sits there and screams,
For the Emperor!
As I'm trying to find my pen. And we got already a $10 super chat from MTF Guard. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All he says in his chat is, enjoy. I think I said that a little too sultry, but let's Sorry, I'm writing this down at the same time. Very much. We will try to enjoy every single thing that happens tonight. And I'm going to enjoy another sip. Hold on. I hope everybody's somewhere where they can just sit and enjoy. And, oh, geez. Well, one other one's coming in. We got a $5 super chat from Douglas Scarborough. He says, last syntax was hard to find. Love the story. I have severe storm coming as well. Okay, so I'm not the only one. 'Tis the time of year, guys, when the storms get really, what's the technical term? Oh, yeah. So let me get you down here, Doug. And by the way, Doug, you didn't put on the Discord your last name Grizzly, did you? Just out of curiosity, because sometimes we got more than, more names. Anyways, thank you guys very much, Doug and MTF Guard. Very, very much appreciated. And Douglas says he still let me know exactly what he wants as far as a yell out. So hopefully me not having a special button for him doesn't cause any
emotional damage.
Okay. Now, just going to go down the comments here. And first things first, they're talking about. Okay, Deathbed. I'm sorry. I kind of caught that in the side of my eye. You're funny. Anyways, first things first. You guys mentioned during the past week of my ship how glassing a planet's a good way to piss people off. Now, here's the fun thing. If you're writing your own story, understand that glassing a planet might be way, way, way beyond necessary, especially what type of world it is. Remember, you only have to make the damn thing uninhabitable, not completely dead. You don't have to reclassify the world. You just got to take it over. So a partial bombardment is enough. However, sometimes invasion is necessary if you want to keep the planet from being reclassified from paradise world to colony. Everybody wants a paradise world, so be careful on that one. Now, one of the things I put in here, nobody actually mentions, and I want to bring this up. Now, as we know, we all know what rods from God are. They're the long kinetic telephone poles that can be dropped from orbit. Now, we all know that we would end up using ballistic weapons in space. That's not a big deal. We all understand that. And we know we would use that to get at the deep-ass bunkers. In this story, when they took out Sigma 957, they actually dropped those themselves. Another force used them against us. I don't know if anybody else picked that up. Let me know if that was too subtle or if I should have just spelled the whole thing out. So I just want to put that in there. Now, somebody asked, why didn't they just use the other ships that were out there? They were too badly damaged. I don't know what's going on. Now, on that same note, it was brought up that Venus is going to have a lot of salvage. A lot of salvage. You are right. And hold on. Should we...
All hands to battle stations.
Yep, let's hurry up to the battle stations because we have Skip come in with a $5 super chat. And he says, Artemis 2 just lifted off. Yeah, we'll see how far it gets. On that one, there's a funny rumor. Somebody spread that they were going to scrub the mission because they were afraid that all the craziness over there in the Middle East, that, oh my God, they might accidentally target the shuttle. I'm like, there are, to my knowledge, 2 pieces of ordnance that are fast enough to catch the shuttle at full burn. Okay. And both of them belong to us. One of them is so goddamn expensive that is crazy. Now, you would think that the hypersonic missiles, most hypersonic missiles don't have the range to reach that far. But yeah, won't let you super chat. That's weird. I don't know what to tell you on that one. And, oh, we got someone, Erica. How do you say your last name? It's... And she says, Artemis 2 launch. Thank you for the amazing stories. Well, you and Skip both let me know, and you are quite welcome for the stories. I'm glad you guys are enjoying them. And I am actually going to jump back to it. Thank you again, everybody, for your super chats. Very much appreciated. Very, very much appreciated, actually. Now, there was some questions about the battleship towards the end there. Okay, I'm probably going to hit this more than once. The battleship itself that you're talking about. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, wrong section of the notes. Shoot. Oh, down. Almost went down a rabbit hole. Almost. I'm grabbing on those sides with my fingertips, people. All right. Now it was brought up. Now you guys sent in your ships, which I tried to use as many as possible. But guys, I just needed the name of the ship and the class. I didn't need a whole breakdown of the type of ship, nor did I need, an entire backstory. I appreciate the attention to detail. You guys just went a little over the top. That's all. Because there was a whole thing about battleships getting upgrades and a Titan destroyer. Now, I want to bring up, this was actually someone in particular sent in the Titan destroyer, and one would think that a Titan class and a destroyer would not work. You got to remember that almost all classifications are based off utility, what they can do or what they're meant to do. If it is a well-rounded, fast, but very lightly armored vessel, it counts as a destroyer. Titan class is one of the only ones that is based on size. Okay? Most colony ships are Titan class because they're so fucking huge. That's what she said. And so, swing. Yeah. But yeah, that I didn't get a chance to use the Titan destroyer to the extent that the certain person decided that they wanted to. So it is what it is. Now they mentioned how the fray in the comments also. Yeah, I don't care who you are. That's going to hurt. Actually, being airborne, this is how we prep ourselves for the impact. It's one of the ways to get the air out of your lungs so you don't end up choking on yourself. Is either one saying, oh, this is going to hurt, or B, prepare for the ouch. And yes, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did rip us off. And I see...
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
I see a $20 super chat from somebody who dines on Prozac and pancakes, and you do realize that's going to give you an extra week. Let me write that down. There you go. And he says, the fireballs falling from the skies are leftovers from the fight between 3-Eye Atlas and Swan R2. Stay away from them. They are dangerous. They will be falling through April into May. I only heard a little bit about that. Just a little. I thought the tail from 3-Eye Atlas had actually passed by us, but I was wrong. I personally had the timing wrong. Now, I didn't know much about Swan R2. This is more or less the first time hearing it. So, yeah, I'm going to leave that one alone. I don't want to say too much. However, understand that if you do, in any case, any way, shape, or form, see one of these things land, and you're close enough, mark it and call somebody and let them know they need to bring a Geiger counter. You do not know what type of minerals are in it. If you have a Geiger counter, great. But again, don't worry about it giving you superpowers. Worry about it giving you melanoma or something, or something like that. It's just, no. More often than not, they will send like the bomb squad or someone out. They will check it. And if it's safe, then since you found it, it's yours. At least here in the U.S., that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, there are different state laws on this, so fair warning. And when you send it in to get verified, they will shave a piece of it off so they can check the iron count, the carbon count, and a whole bunch of other stuff that they love to do. And hopefully they won't release an intergalactic plague that will fuck us all in the ass. So, on that one, there was a question about the late drop as far as one of the chapters went. I just felt like mixing things up. Instead of dropping at midnight, I dropped at 2 a.m. It is what it is. I also was trying to test something here for YouTube, and I found out something in particular, but that's for my analytics. Don't worry about it. All right. there was the question during the time that the main character Nick was being Humpty Dumptied, as in put back together, and the twins were getting their parts reattached, and Beth was starting to get reassembled because it took a while before they found what was left of her and all that. What was the rest of humanity doing? Now, this may seem like I was taking artistic license, but I was trying to stay with the story as much as I possibly could, because everything is done from the perspective of inside my ship. And yes, I will keep calling it that, or doing it that way. Because of that, I didn't want to suddenly switch to a third-person omnipresent view. Not to mention, there was the explanation, which I actually have written down. I even got it right there. It says AAR, After Action Review. And I don't know how many of you that rolls off your tongue, but I used to do AARs all the time. And usually getting chewed out because I either screwed something up or somebody next to me screwed something up, and I'm getting chewed for it. So during the AAR, somebody mentioned how the replicators, how they could use that to their advantage, and how somebody wanted one. As I mentioned before, the actual name here on planet Earth is molecular assembler. And there was also a question of what would happen when that was released. Well, that's kind of what I touched on in the very beginning. On the very first episode, like when the main character, he actually condensed into a super heavy metal, these little ingots. And that's what he's paying with, because as I said in there, it takes a long, long time, even with the best fabricators, to create one of these, which means they are worth more. Okay. Once we have the molecular assembler, a lot of things are going to change. A lot of things. Holy shit. The metals market is probably going to take a fucking nosedive. Okay. All these super rich people are going to freak the fuck out, because if you can molecularly assemble, well, you can't assemble money. You can assemble the gold and silver and stuff like that. However, the dollar bills, that won't work, because it's not, the only thing you can create is one component. You could create the paper, you can't create the ink on it. I'm going to say that one again. You can create the paper, but you cannot create the ink on it. And all the other shit that's on, there's actually a type of glass that's on those too. So paper money is not going to just freaking disappear. However, it's going to be a lot easier to counterfeit. I mean, unbelievably easy. So that's going to change everything. There's also, where was I? The food. Okay, everybody's going to have as much clean food as they want. However, it might not be food they want. Okay, you might be able to molecularly assemble a steak out of car parts, but it might taste kind of funny. I mean, it might not hurt you physically, but it'll taste funny, which is why, like I said, with this character, he sells a lot of his goods that he gets off his farm, because the real thing will always have a premium, always. And actually, you know where I remembered that idea? The Daylight, what was it? The vampire movie where they were running around trying to catch all the humans, and the doctor was a vampire. I forget the name of the movie. Anyways, he oh shit, I'm seeing stuff in the comment section. I'll have to get back to that. Anyways, how he mentioned, they have the fake blood, but there's always going to be people that'll pay a premium for the real thing. Boom, beer me, or in this case, wine me. I'm winding up right now. So that's where that comes in. Also, the textiles, that's gonna be a huge. Oh, hold on. Let me get to it. Let me get to the huge one right there. Textiles are gonna be hurting bad. Now, one of the key things on that to remember is, if you look at most of your clothing, it's not just one piece of textile. You're still going to have to assemble it somehow. So if you don't learn to sew, then you're fucked. You're still paying. As far as the supply chain is going to loosen right up. There's going to be almost no lag. So what's going to become valuable once the molecular assembler is released to the public is your actual physical work. Those of us that know how to do actual physical work, know how to assemble things, know how to fix things, know how to whatever, even cleaning shit is going to be something you can get paid for. So it's still going to have value. So sorry, I kind of went down the wonderful rabbit hole. I'm going down, man. I'm going down. Oh! I'm still going down. I'm still falling. Okay, that's enough of that. All right. All right. There was a question about the quantum heart. Okay. The quantum heart in the story did not get reassembled. Okay. It had to be replaced. First, I don't know why there was some sort of argument in the comment section on that. There was no way of salvaging it. The kicker was, I even put this in the very first episode. I was hoping, I'm pretty sure most of you got it, that they had to be extremely careful moving the quantum heart. Now, is the heart actually shaped like a heart? No, it doesn't. It can. It doesn't have to be. But the idea of the quantum heart is it's such a delicate piece of equipment that's why it's put in its own container that is designed to keep it from being damaged, being shaken around at all. But when the ship crashed, it cracked that container open and it was more than enough to shatter it. As Will Smith said, disintegrated into a million pieces. Yeah. So that's why they needed a replacement. And all they have to do is get an empty one, and then actually any of the crew could just upload themselves into it if they wanted. But obviously Christine was built for that. Anyway, there was a whole thing about putting a Phoenix Rising on the side of the Sin of the Stars ship. Guys, I finished before I even got that far. And the final bit for my ship is this. There was a question about the actual Fearnin class battleship that Nick got to actually put his cruiser inside like a fucking nesting doll. The thing is, what it came down to was the fact that the battleship itself was military surplus. Everybody had jumped to a military footing and were just shitting out ships as fast as they could. They were hawking them faster than I can hawk loogies. And as soon as the war situation went down, they're like, okay, now what the hell do we do with these things? They sell them. That's what they do. They have extra, they sell it. I guarantee pretty much everybody here can find a military surplus store within 50 miles of wherever the hell you are. Most of you, not all. I guarantee there's exceptions to the rules, but if there wasn't a rule, there wouldn't be an exception. Boom, bear me. But yeah, that's where that battleship comes from. All right. Let me get that out of here. I'm going to jump over to something more familiar. And yes, I did kind of play with you guys a little bit. The syntax is there. However, like 2 or 3 people had to send me, I don't see it's there. It's not there. You forgot to be. Yes, it's there. However, I told them to look and think real hard where it might be. And there it was. Now, I was going to make it a bit bigger, but the problem is the spot where it is a little cramped. But it is there. Had to make sure it was there. Unfortunately, with something familiar, this one was a little short because I only spent a day and a half on it. I could have spent another day and a half and it would have been much longer. They didn't get a lot of views, but this series really doesn't. I do this because you guys requested it. And by the way, the next one, I got one more to do before I jump into the humans going through the alien TSA, which was another requested. So yeah, I'm just trying to catch up, guys. I'm trying to catch up. And I don't think I'll ever catch up. It's a never-ending go. However, expect more of these, but don't expect them often. I want to get at least 2 or 3 out a month. We will see what's going on. I do have to apologize once again to a certain Kitsune lover that we all know who you are. We've already had this conversation on Discord. I fucked up, guys. I fucked up a little bit, and I put in the wrong one. And oh, damn it. Where's that? I was trying to reach for a button, and I forgot to put it in here. God damn it. Where's Yoda? Oh, you bastard. Whatever. I guess Guardian Sage will just have to be sentenced to
death! By snoo-snoo!
Anyway, let me write this down. There's Guardian. Thank you very much. I got to get the yogurt on here. The closest I other guy is, but I already used that. So anyways, yeah. And by the way, he says, careful, Sin, drinking wine. People might say you're whining. You forgot to add the extra N in there. I'm not whining. I'm winning. Even though, unfortunately, I was so busy today, we had a bunch of people show up after everything happened this morning. I will not be able to drop a video for you guys tonight. I do apologize for that. I will let you, I'm not even done with the thumbnail yet. However, I will let you know that the title is going to be something along the lines of humans. That's so big. Or humans, why do you have them so large? And it's not quite what you think. You guys know I like to subvert a little bit of expectation on that. However, bear in mind that things will work out in the end. At least I hope so. All right. Anyway, as far as the Kitsune, I got the hair color wrong. However, a certain person brought up an easy way to fix it, and he's absolutely right. Absolutely right. So don't be surprised if there's a little adjustment there. And also, don't be surprised if a little extra information about the main character drops as well. Some of you might have figured it out. However, I didn't see anything in the comments section. So let me get this out of here. And make sure I got everything going up. And let's see, since that's where I want to go, let's go. And I only got one extra video for today, unfortunately. I don't know if you only sent one or if you sent more, but this is the only one I got. Everybody enjoy. You know, it's the first time I watched it, but I know what I'm going to put in there for a sound effect. Let me see if I got it right here. It's going to be, I think that'll work out good. And before I go too far, it seems we have somebody else pulling in. Oh, there he is. I was expecting some company. And that is Brian Kemp as he rolls in and should be shutting down. There he goes. And he says, great stories on his $10 super chat. And hopefully me moving my head too much doesn't give me another headache. I've been, trying to go back to the gym, guys. I'm only a couple days in. I'm on week 0. And as you know, getting up at different times in that will give you a headache. But you know what? Just like starting any good regiment or breaking a bad habit, it's the same timeline. The first week is hard. The second week is infinitely harder, but by the end of the third week, you can't argue with success. So I'm going to jump into these. And again, I wish I had more places to put different pictures, but it is what it is, because I want to talk about the show Invincible. And guys, I want to like it. I want to like it so much. I do. I really honestly do. But the constant race and gender swaps of their fucking preset characters is driving me nuts. Okay, even in the very first episode, if you read the comics, well, if you've never read the comics, you're going to be like, what the hell is he talking about? But if you read the comics, you knew that in the very first episode, at least one, possibly two of the characters, even though they're only on screen for a little while, got race and gender swapped. And I'm sitting there like, what in the ever-loving snot rockets are you doing? And just so you know, Rex Splode did not look like that in the comics, and neither did Rudy. Okay, it's just not that way. The solid green character that died in the Guardians did not look that way in the comic books. The tech jacket, they totally bastardized that. It's like I want to like it, but stop fucking what they got. Oh my God, seriously. If you lose consistency, you lose the audience. Guess what? I'm the fucking audience. Okay, you're going to piss off everybody. Stop race and gender swapping everybody, you pole smoking, ball juggling, herpes loving motherfuckers. Okay, Jesus. Oh my God. It's a giant fuck you to the fans is what it really is. It's not just a fuck you. It's a slap. It's a bitch slap, because they come back for seconds, and when you turn around and go, oh, that hurts, they shove their fist clean up your ass. I'm like, come on, stick with what works. Okay? If you want to sit there and be all woke and shit, fuck right off. You can do it, my chickens say, fuck off. You know, whenever they're freaking doing laying an egg. Just, aha. Okay, that didn't go all the way down. That one did. All right. Sorry, guys. I got a little spun up on that. But I want to like the show. Just like Rick and Morty, I want to like the show. But their executive producer is the type of person, if I was in the same room with him, he would not walk out. He'd not be breathing. And he would probably bleed out as I ripped part of him off. And just left him there screaming, going, you ripped off my head. And I'm going to be like, no, I ripped them all off, you dipshit. Think about that where it is. All right. But it really irks me when they make something so good, but they fuck it up so bad. Holy fuck. Okay. That's enough of me cursing on that. Okay. I will say this, and honestly, because they fucked it up so bad, I don't mind saying this. In the comics, they did a time travel after he went through all his craziness, where he went back and he could actually stop his dad from killing the Guardians of the Globe, and they could get Alan the Alien. Yeah, stupid fucking name. And they could do all this really good things. They could stop the Viltrumites from killing each other and actually save their species even more than they actually do, and save so many freaking lives. And he tells everybody, he goes back, he tells Cecil, that douchebag, you know, he's more of a douchebag in his younger years. Actually, no, he's just always a douchebag. He tells Cecil, he tells the Guardians, he tells his dad, he tells his mom, he tells everybody except the one person it fucking matters to, and that's Adam Eve. And all he had to do is walk up with Cecil next to him and say, Cecil can verify, guess what? I came back from the future. I'm from 10 years in the future. I know this is going to happen. That's how I stopped my dad from killing everybody, this, that, and the other thing. And then all he's got to do is turn to her after verification, and she understands, and go, by the way, Rex is going to cheat on you and we end up married. By the way, please don't abort my first child. Thank you. And yeah, she does that in the comics. I don't know if they're going to do that in the cartoons, but that was one of the big things in the comic. And the thing is, why did she do that? Because she wanted her powers back, because she loses her powers a bit when she gets pregnant. And also when she loses her power, she gets fat. Wah, bitch. Ugh. But it didn't make sense. And they did all this just so, because he couldn't get his wife, because he couldn't get the pretty girl to fuck, he decided to go back and let billions fucking die for his own self-interest. What in the story running motherfuck does that have to do with the price of tea in fucking China? He was doing everything smart unto that one point, and it didn't make sense. Okay, the only time travel one where somebody fucks things up that bad was in the movie Chronicle, where the guy had everything he wanted except the hot chick. He went back to try and get the hot chick too, but he forgot the butterfly effect. That's a freaking big thing. And it's just Goose Fraba. Fuck it. Okay. I need to get away from that because I wanted to like it so much and they fuck up. Another thing I wanted to like was the next Netflix War Machine that everybody said was so good. Wow. I got to see some bits of it, and wow, is it bad. It is unbelievably bad. And because it's Netflix, we normally don't do spoilers, but I have no problem spoiling that piece of garbage. Okay, the guy's out on a training mission, no friggin' ammo, not even a friggin' knife, and his guys are just getting picked off left and right. Magically, he's able to get away from this thing that can scan and find any life sign anywhere, and somehow he's the only survivor, and by himself, of course, because he's a ranger, of course. Yeah. He finds, of course, exactly what he needs, some heavy equipment to crush this motherfucker. I could almost enjoy that part. However, the final portion, my brain hurts. And by the time I'm done talking, your brain is it's going to hurt you too, because the lack of brain cells here, and everybody wants to look at Army guys and Marines and everybody else is stupid. No, they're a hell of a lot smarter than you think. Your job is to outsmart somebody trying to kill you, and they're trying to outsmart you because you're trying to kill them. And guess what? That cat and mouse game does not get any easier. If anything, it just gets harder. However, they ask him, how did you take down one of these things alone? He said, well, if you look here on the very top and a little bit back, there's a vent, an access port for cooling, kind of like the radiator on a Humvee. He said, go after that, and the whole thing shuts down. So you're telling me that you are the only person in the world to look at a mechanical device thinking, how do I take it down? And you are the only one that thought, aim for the giant fucking hole in the armor. I'm going to say that one again. Apparently, he's the only one in the world who thought, aim for the hole, the gap in the armor. Motherfucker, that is beyond stupid. Everybody would have known to aim for that. As soon as they saw it, they would have put so many rounds through that son of a bitch. It's crazy. You get a couple of 50 caliber rounds through that, I guarantee the war machine ain't war machining for very much longer. And you're telling me that you couldn't hit that thing with guided ordnance? Bullshit. Okay, that just, oh my, just, he's the only one in the world who sees a hole. Just, my head hurts. The more logical I try to think about this, the more my head hurts. Oh, dear God. Okay. I'm back. Hold on. I need something else, something that's not going to fire me up or make I can already see my face getting a little flushed here. All right. I'm going to pull off this Netflix friggin' reach around handy that they gave the Ranger Regiment. And I'm going to move on to something else. And this, unfortunately, is going to annoy some of you. And honestly, I am upset because, again, something I wanted to like. You guys started getting me into Warhammer 40K. I started looking into it. I started looking into it very, very closely. And I started to enjoy it. Hell, you guys know I even wrote a, not very good, but I wrote a story based on it, which I said before, like last week, that and the week before, that I would pretty much keep the storyline the same. I would adjust some of the characters, but the storyline would be the same. And hey, see you, Steve. Oh, Steve, really? He's going to leave us already. Okay. And take care. Anyways, I wanted to like Warhammer 40K, so I started looking into it. Now they came out with a new game with, by the way, the cinematics are beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But I had a few minutes, so I decided to watch the cinematics for this Sisters of Battle thing. By the time I was done with the first chapter of it, I just sat there and said, I'm sorry, but no, absolutely not. The humans are supposed to be the supposed good guys, even though they do fight everything
For the Emperor!
And all that. Okay, I'm not fully in on that. However, you had a woman who was trying to not quite repent for her sins, but she had to accomplish a mission to be forgiven for a fuck up. Not a screw up, apparently, but a fuck up. And as we all know, fuck ups you have to pay for. And there's somebody.
All hands to battle stations.
That's Skip with a $5 super chat. As he said, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are saving me thousands of dollars of time being wasted. Yeah, it's the. I wanted to. I really did. I wanted to like it. But at the end, again, I don't want to do spoilers, and there's more to these Sisters of Battle things, so they might be able to redeem themselves. Might. I'm going to say that again. They might. I don't think they will. This woman had to go into battle with no armor, no weapons. She just had to carry a skull, actually. And somehow there's magic in that universe, which I don't fully understand yet. But she had to get it anointed. And once it did become a very strong weapon. She accomplished the mission. However, one of the other Sisters of Battle died getting her to that position, while another one apparently fucked off. I'm like, what? Aren't the Sisters of Battle supposed to be like the Space Marines? Once they're engaged, they don't stop until everybody on the other side dies. What the fuck is going on? Regardless of that little tidbit, the Sisters of Battle show up and they decide, you may have accomplished the mission, but we're going to take you and we're going to shove you into this metal coffin that for the next probably 20,000 years is going to be nothing but shoving dangerous stuff inside you and forcing your nerve endings to screech out in pain constantly. You will get no sleep. You will get no reprieve at all. It will constantly hurt you. And she said, she screamed, she's not a Repentia. I'm like, Repentia don't wear that shit. This is for like supposedly the most grievous of crimes. Why was she condemned to this? Because the sisterhood decided, well, one of our sisterhood got killed and you're not part of our sisterhood. So we're going to just punish you because we fucked up and one of our sisterhood got killed. The girl accomplished her fucking mission. Why is she getting punished? Apparently staying alive in that universe, if you're human, is the only sin that is possible there, is staying alive. Okay, let's go to Ready Player One and get that friggin' giant glowing double-ended dildo glow stick and blow up the entire 40K universe. Finally, everybody's good. They're all nothing but good people there. Because apparently that's the only thing. The only sin is staying alive. And they even said that in the comment section. I'm like, what in the ever-loving fuck? Just because she's not one of us, you had to punish her. You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the cheerleading squad going up and harassing the bookworm, making their life a living hell to the point where she wants to fucking off herself. I'm sorry. No, I'm done. I am absolutely fucking done. which is a shame because there's this group on YouTube that make really funny songs. One of them is I hit on a Repentia and she hit me back. There's another one, I'm drunk on Promethium, which, by the way, is a funny fucking song. Problem is, it comes up on my feed. I sit there and say, not interested, because I can no longer enjoy it. I wanted to fucking like it. Ugh. Yeah, Repentance Engine. Thank you, Guard. You know this stuff a whole lot better than me. There was no reason to do that. She accomplished the mission. And she was supposed to be for, and they keep saying it's for the Emperor, but all I see is a bunch of bureaucrats with all their bullshit, acting with all the Bolshevik crap. Oh, now I got a drink. And it's just, I wanted to, up until that point, I was enjoying it. And I was like, damn, I'm going to write another story. Nope. If I did, guess who would be on that ship that came down? That girl in the, what do you call it, Repentance Engine? And she would actually be pulled out of that thing and reconstructed specifically just to piss everybody off. Ugh. So the Sisters of Battle are the weakest characters? I thought they were supposed to be like badass, like the Space Marines. Anyway. All right, I need to downshift on this, or I'm just going to scream about it all freaking night. And it's just, it's like Invincible. I want to like it. I want to like it so bad. I can't. I just can't. Now, a bit on the actual news, not science fiction, but actual science. I don't know if you guys seen, but the new humanoid robots are out. The only thing they're having trouble with right now is setting up the factory so they can actually create approximately anywhere from 50,000 to 1 million of these things a year. And I even put a comment on the base of that video that said, oh, robots building robots that'll build more robots. I think we've seen this movie before. It wasn't good. So it just, all I can say is, how do I put this? Most of you here are Generation X, roughly. Okay, me, I could be considered Generation X, but I fall right in the middle, what's called a Zennial. I'm right on the edge between them. Okay, I'm only 1 year off because my little sister, she's only 2 years behind me. She would be considered a millennial, but we actually fall into the Zennial gap. Actually, all my siblings do. And because of that, somebody actually brought this up very, very well. They said that those born in that time, we grew up analog, and as soon as we got like towards the end of our high school years, everything changed to digital. And since now everything's changing from digital, well, it went from digital to information to now it's robotic. You know, we've done this before. We've done the transitions already. We've lived through a bunch of recessions. We've gone through wars already. Another transition, and we're just like, okay, so what? I've played this game before. I know how it fucking ends. So all right. So anyways, just a little something. Just be ready for technology to make a huge jump. Oh, hold on. Let me say a huge jump ahead. Well, okay, that one right there is not as big of a jump, but you know what I mean. All right. You know what? Let me throw on another video real quick. Something fairly long. Giggity. Something like I don't have them listed. I have them listed by numbers, not what's on them. So here. I still say you got the crease between the turret and the hull. Anyway, On to the next subject, guys, and this is the video games, just like we just watched. And, well, as it turns out, Marathon is still a piece of shit. There's still no players. There's still no buyers because it is woke absolute fucking garbage. I mean, horrible. I can't even get through the trailers. It's so bad. It's crazy. Now, Bungie is still supporting it. I mean, of course they would. Look what's going on with Bungie. I mean, seriously, I don't know what they're deliberately trying to sink their company, and they're doing it a very fine job of it. Now, Marathon guy is just oh God, it's just bad. You'd have to look at the trailers. They wanted it to be the next Overwatch, and they failed so bad. I mean, you look at it and scream,
You gotta be fucking kidding.
and I just look at the company and say,
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
and I'm basically warning you guys. It's just
It's a trap.
It's just bad. It's just bad. Stay away from it. Now, Stellar Blade ditched PlayStation because they wanted to keep their fans. Apparently, PlayStation decided to get all baby sweet on everybody and wanted to change everything about Stellar Blade, especially the way the characters look. They have this thing against attractive characters. Now, again, bear in mind that many of these folks are not attractive people. So they want to actually insert themselves into the actual game. So much so, just like when they brought back Velma, the voice actor insisted that Velma look like her. And all I can say is no. Just no on so many levels. And the reviews coming back from the fans, not the games journalists, but from the fans, say that Stellar Blade is actually really good. So, hey, props to you guys for actually creating a good game, staying in your lane, and just doing what you're supposed to do. Too many people get caught in the hype and then they get paid off and all this other bullshit. No, they did what they were supposed to do. And it's just, you got other companies that are trying to get back at them, like Ubisoft. Also, well, Ubi isn't just soft, Ubi is limp because the layoffs are continuing over there. I mean, big time. This is like the third or fourth round of layoffs they've had, and more and more and more. And it just shows one simple thing, because most of their stuff was console games. The consoles are dying, guys. The consoles are dying very, very fast. Even when I was a kid, I saw that computers made far better games. The only thing they couldn't keep up with was the graphics, because almost everything inside the console was a giant graphics card. Okay, and graphics cards, I mean, they're still pretty big, but graphics cards back in the day were fucking huge. Like seriously fucking ginormous. I mean, crazy. So it's but now computers can do all that and give you the good story and everything like that, and you can get the DLC and all the other fun stuff. The consoles are they're old tech that has been overridden. That's like somebody getting a Model T at the time, say, look, it's better than a horse, or a Model A, it's better than a horse. And now you come up with a Ferrari and go, yeah, but this was better. We just had to figure out the compression ratio. So, and okay, down here, Crimson Desert. Hold on. Crimson Desert. Sorry. Well, it's making the woke a bit mad. And you know what I can say? You can piss off as far as I'm concerned. I mean, they can get mad all they want, because the guys who are making Crimson Desert are refusing to bow down. They're not getting baby sweeted at the whole time. They are just trying to do what they're doing. Okay. The companies that don't quite own Crimson Desert are trying to say, well, you're not going to get another one unless you bend over, spread your cheeks, and, take a breath because it's going to sting. No, they're not doing it. They're doing it deliberately. It's gotten so bad over there that apparently the liberal groups, current, not old school, are targeting the actual designers, the people that make it. And yeah. And it's just the more they fight up against these guys who are doing the right thing to make games that we actually want. You may fight us, but that only makes us stronger. It makes the players stronger. It makes the game stronger. And you know what? It makes they can all just suck on a big one. Because, shocker, want to smell it? It wouldn't matter what they did. It would never be liberal enough. Speaking of liberal enough, World of Warcraft. I could hear at least a half a dozen of you just roll your eyes when I said that. The new World of Warcraft. Wow. They took the war out of Warcraft completely. They now have a Warcraft Sim City type of thing going on where everybody who used to deliberately kill each other, and now they all just live in peace, and the orcs dance their way across the stage and all this other shit, all prancing and stuff. I'm like, what? What? Okay, these are the guys who actually created the Makara, which was a trial by combat, which is something that no matter what, they all agreed to. If you won that, you were absolved of anything, okay? It's just it's a whole warrior and respect culture, and now they're preening. They're literally preening, and I'm just oh my god! And don't worry, guys, it's getting so much worse because apparently there's going to be an event in the new World of Warcraft specifically for Pride Month. Oh, joy. Oh, this is going to be so sparkling. Oh, if you wanted to kill the series, just stop making the game. Don't destroy the entire legacy. I mean, the legacy started with Leroy Jenkins. You guys all know that one. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Why destroy your legacy like that? I don't get it. I really don't understand why they would destroy their legacy. Oh my, it just, Okay. Everybody needs to have a drink and stay with me here. I just need to. Again, it's one of those situations where I wanted to like it. I really, honestly wanted to like it. But that's not going to happen anymore. Ugh, bastards. On a bit of light and dark news, as we leave the video games and move into TV and movies, Star Fuck Up Academy, also known as Starfleet Academy, was going to get a second season. They have officially been canceled. Most everybody knows about this. However, the leaked manuscripts, the scripts that were going to be out there for the cast, they had actually tried to start filming, thinking, oh, if we start filming, they'll just renew us. They were doubling down on things that were it was so fruity. Oh my god, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I'm sorry, but you don't have a Klingon that is just so fancy and all this shit. I'm like, no, motherfucker, no. It's bad enough they already gave him a boyfriend. Now they're gonna friggin' gay him up to a point that I'm not talking about sparkle a little. I mean fully on fire. And they're still trying to burn the franchise down. I'm sorry, the franchise is done. It's done. And they're trying to bring some major Trek news. I didn't get much out of it, but supposedly to be announced, they're going to do some major Trek stuff. However, I don't think it's going to save them. I think they've put themselves down into the gutters with Star Trek STD. And they've gone lower into the decks with lower decks. And now they're just in a pile of bodies that is looking for a hole to suck and stick. I mean, just I don't even know what the fuck's going on with them anymore. Oh, my head. Of course, most people would look at Trek and say,
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
what's actually fun to laugh at is the fact that, I don't know if you guys seen this, but there's new Harry Potter stuff coming out. I've never been a fan of Harry Potter. But remember what I said about them race and gender swapping? Apparently, they are race swapping at minimum 2 characters. 2 preset characters they are race swapping. One is potentially a gender swap. And I was actually so upset I can't even read the next part of my notes. This might as well be, oh, never mind. I said they're so bad they might be swapping something else, you know, towards the end of the certain type of videos. Which, by the way, whenever I see them do that swap shit, I want to barf. I'm like, well, I'm never watching this shit again. Anyway. What the hell was that? Apparently the movie Mario Galaxy movie. You can tell I wrote some of this really fast. The Mario Galaxy movie was coming out. The trailer doesn't look too bad. I mean, I saw the Mario movie when it first came out, this recent one, the CGI one, with my 2 nephews. It was a fun experience to go watch it. I like to watch it with them again, but one is off, I think, in another state working. So it is what it is. The Mario movie got attacked for being toxically masculine. These are fucking CGI cartoons. What the fuck is it? Why can't we just have nice things? Can't we at all? Anything? I mean, it gets worse. I mean, we have. I'm gonna go watch the Mario Galaxy movie when it comes out. At least if it's still out when I'm out doing my errands and stuff like that, and I'm going past the theater, I'll see if it's there. However, one I won't be seeing anytime soon because it's not coming out is the Doctor Doom thing. The one that's supposed to have the guy who played Iron Man is going to play Doctor Doom. And, you know, he's going to be going against the Fantastic Four. And the thing is, from what I'm finding out, the script isn't even done yet. They were supposed to drop it next year. You can't film a movie like that in a year, not without some serious fucking AI and a lot of fucking coders. Now, AI is good. Don't get me wrong. It's getting very good. It's not even close to that good yet. But Hollywood is dying, and you know what? Let him die. Because a lot of us are seeing what's there and saying,
Screw you guys, I'm going home.
And we're taking our wallets with us. All right. I'll end off this one with Mando and Grogu. Everyone is saying the same thing. It is probably too late to save that franchise. They shot it in the ass so bad when they got rid of the actual MMA fighter. She did a really good job. She was supposed to be there. They switched her with Ahsoka, with a woman who cannot play Ahsoka. And it's just been downhill ever since. And you know what? All I can say is this is what they're doing to us, and we just think it's rude. They're shitting on us. So I'm done with them. All right, let me scroll up here into the comments. I'm not going to go too far up. Maybe about here right after Guardian Sage sent his super chat. Yep, but Alan saying trying to keep giving me stories and tales. Yep. As long as it works for, you guys can send me anything. I'm going to review it and see if it works for the channel. If it works for the channel, I'll put it on the list. I got at least 10 more to do. Not to mention, there's series I still have to go back to, but I don't want to get too much into them until the office is done downstairs. I'm waiting for a fucking door to come in, believe it or not. Once the door is in, they actually deliver everything, and then we just call the guy to help me get it set up. Who said it shouldn't take more than about 3 hours to get the thing framed in the drywall on the outside. See. Guard says, also, I just discovered that my state of Kentucky, I can have a concealed carry super shorty. Why would you want to carry a shorty around? Isn't that what people call a woman now? Or some lady you're around with? Isn't that, am I wrong? I mean, I don't think I'm wrong. Oh, shit. I was almost about to click on something. Oh, this is going to get me in trouble. Here we go. We'll use that one. Anyways, down here, War Sniper. So, Sin, you going to correct Shinano or do the other way Musashi, punishing Regishen for having her name incorrect? I sent the other way to fix on Discord. You haven't checked. Actually, I did check. You weren't here. I talked about that first thing there, War Sniper. And your way of fixing it is actually the smartest thing I could do. So hats off to, I'm not wearing a hat, but hats off to you. I'm not taking my earphones off. I wouldn't be able to hear anything. But anyways, yeah, I'll get that fixed. No worries there. Absolutely no worries. And actually, son of a bitch. Damn. Oh, I can. Let me see if I have in my image here. Actually, it's I was using it for Erica, but I'm pretty sure I could use, if this will go through, I could use this for your Shinano. Here we go. Boom, beer me. You said she got white hair, but if you're seeing with this almost slightly purple hue, it will get you confused. You know what I mean? So yes, I will fix it. Let's see. Green Dragon saying, just watch the moon launch. Well, they're not actually landing. They're just circling. But we'll see if they can get through the Van Allen radiation belt without turning into microwave sushi. Guard says, that was my second life, too. My team was goddamn useless in that match in War Thunder. I ended up leaving it like 11 kills to 2 deaths. So basically, you carried your team and they still lost. Yeah, I could see that. Been there, done that. I think when I played, I can think of a few games when I used to play like MechWarrior Online. I had like 7. It's a 12 on 12. I got like 7, 8, 9 kills, and we still lost the match. I'm like, guys, I'm up in their face with a pair of LRM-20s and a goddamn Jaeger mech, and we're still losing, even though I'm basically kicking ass. What the flying fuck knuckles is going on? I don't know. War Sniper continues. The way with it's not Regishen, it's Rockishin. R-O-C-K. And it's actually the true spelling that I looked this up from an actual existing dragon's name is R-O-C-K-A-S-H-E-E-N. It's Rockishin. And he just shorts it by calling him Rocky. You can make it ironically a Kitsune punishing a young dragon for having the name wrong. Yeah. Or she didn't have the name wrong, and the fact that everybody was basically blind from the freaking light that was coming through. For those that don't know, I'm just going to make this real quick. War Sniper is the one who created the Fearnin character, and which is a very large dragon who lives in a separate realm. He sent me pictures. He says, this is as close as it is. Now, it's very colorful and very bright. And every time so far, that they've been on the road, or I should say the last 2 times, they've opened up the portals into that realm at night. If your eyes are not ready for the night, even if you have very good night vision, you're going to be seeing spots and the color palette in your eyes is going to be all fucked up. So it is what it is. Like I said, War Sniper, your previous one saying, "Oh yeah, have the night vision fucking up so it looks purple." Yeah, easy fix. That was the smartest fucking thing. Okay, Steve says, "I'm guessing that the movie really pissed you off." Yeah, it pissed me off for being so fucking stupid. But you know what? I might get in trouble for that one, so I'm going to keep that one away. Hold on. That was a Kitsune 2, wasn't it? Yes, it was. Woohoo. Anyways, it was just, how do I put this? Whenever it's a power fantasy like that, it kind of gets me. Because again, I was in that business. Somebody that age popping pain pills just so he can actually sleep or to be able to move. I'm sorry, absolutely not would he be able to do any of those things. After a few of those jumps in full kit, that knee would have snapped into many, many, many pieces of gravel inside his leg. How do I know this? We had to send guys out of the field for the exact fucking thing. Oh, I'm good. I healed over. Crunch. Next thing you know, they're literally screaming. We take a towel or something, wrap around their face, and they're just screaming through that sucker. I don't want to scream as loud as they were, but my God, it's ear piercing. And we get the docs over there. And we're like, please tell me you have morphine or something. They're like, they don't allow us to carry it. And I was, fuck you guys. It's just. But yeah, the movie just out of sheer stupidity just kind of got me. There's the Green Dragon with roar. What was it? More DACA, more better. DACA. Okay. Yeah, that means shoot 'em up. Yeah, I know that one. At first, I was wondering, more DACA, more better. What is it? Some sort of slang? What the fuck is that shit? No, it is what it is. Guards up here give me a complete brief on the actual Warhammer thing. So let's see if he can spell it out for me. Guard says, oh yeah, the repentance Siritis. I think I have a cream for that. And what she was shoved into was a repentance engine. It's supposed to constantly inflict pain to the sister of battle inside, and it's pretty much got no armor. Their faith is supposed to be the thing that saves them. Oh yeah, it also constantly pumps them full of drugs too, keeping them awake at all times. And to make them feel no pain, apparently yes. Awake at all times to make them feel no pain. What? I thought it was supposed to hurt them. Apparently, yes, she did complete the mission. Hold on. You said the magic word. But where was I? With both escorts dying. The Sisters of Battle are also one of the Green Dragons saying Sisters of Battle, one of the two weakest characters in 40K. Again, they're walking around basically in tank armor. I don't know how that's possible. Guard continues. She was pretty much given the middle finger again and pretty much told, oh, well, you're at step 1 and you're going the hard way this time. Because part of her mission was to make sure those two also survived, but with one dying off screen and the other one dropping a pile of rocks on top of her, she failed that part. So she failed successfully. The fuck? Still, this is why I would love to actually do my other 40K one and actually have her there and have her be the one to actually find the little transmitter with the holographic thing with the characters. They was like, hey, they were given the option. They fought the war against the those that were trying to destroy humanity, and they still chose to go back to the emperor, even though they could have lived their lives free. So don't hold it against them, this, that, and the other. So, yeah, but I have a feeling even with that, somebody would be like, hey, get out of your armor, senior sister, superior battle lady. Get into this walking coffin that's going to shove a 3-foot dildo up your ass for the rest of eternity. And not in a fun way, because it's going to be spiked. Ugh. Oh, excuse me. And we got and we got Draven here.
Good evening, sinners. Sorry, ship late.
Oh, okay, soda's starting to hit me. Guard also says, what happened is that I shot... Oh, he's talking about the video. What happened is that I shot the shell, went into the front plate, but due to the hump on the front plate, the middle of the shell glided up and into the turret ring. Yeah, that's what I said. You hit the seam. Whether it's a ricochet or direct shot, you still hit it. War Sniper coming in. Also, Sin, I'm working on the side story of my ship. And I'm stuck on the description of how the smart AI would look like. If you're talking like, okay, on that one, War Sniper, if you're looking into, say, now I gave a description. They're just standard androids. However, you can put them in any shell you want. If you're talking about a holographic one, again, the character Christine, she actually constantly changed her holographic form through the entire thing. I kept saying, oh, she came, it's her, but she looks different. She's either taller, she's shorter, she's wider, she's skinnier. She's constantly changing every time you see her because she's testing everything out. She wants to see the guy's reaction because, of course, she's monitoring his biosignature. So you can literally put the smart AI into anything. You could just have them be a disembodied voice. They don't have to have a holographic if they don't want it. However, given the size of the ship, remember that there are limits on how far the AI android can be away from the quantum heart before they no longer have connection. Once they reconnect, both memories will merge. I didn't actually go into that. That was going to be an additional chapter. I didn't want to throw that in there because I realized it was going to pull everything sideways. And everyone's going to be like, well, why didn't you finish this section? No, I had to finish the main story. So on that one, War Sniper, you can go nuts. You can have one look like an orc with like 6 penises or something. You can make it look like an elf with 4 tits. I don't care. You can make it look like a giant crab and say that your ship has a case of the crabs. I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter. All it matters is what you think they should look like. That's it. Now, I would recommend that if you're talking about a military vessel, I really doubt they're going to walk around bare ass or like the twins like to walk around in nothing but a thong. That's not going to fly. However, or should I say, but it's up to you. See, Guard says there's more corn on Marathon than there is players. Let me wrap my brain around that. This is a video game. It's not even Roblox. Okay. I don't know where to go with this. See, I'm not a big gamer anymore, so I'm not exactly sure, but I'm not gonna. It's a trap. That's where my brain is at. I keep not wanting to stay too much, but if that's what they're doing on a video game system that kids play. Oh boy, wait till the parents realize what's going on.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Because they are about to get fucking nuked by getting sued. And this is going to be crazy. I mean...
I am shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked.
I'm not really shocked anymore after everything that's been going on. I've been hearing so much messed up shit. Every time I'm in the car, I put a podcast on and I hear about stuff like, not this in particular, but I hear about that stuff going on and just, it gets under my skin, people. It really, really does. It makes me want to hurt somebody very, very badly and then continue to hurt them until they no longer move. A couple hard hitting, bringing a couple of my hard hitting buddies with a pair of pliers and a blowtorch. So maybe one of these freakazoids will spend the rest of their agonizing short life in pain. I know I screwed up the line there, but you guys know what I'm saying. And by the way, guard, that next one, I can't say that. YouTube will snag us. War Sniper Series says, Ensign, what is the Tage before the ship name in my ship? Like UNSC Sinus. Just use SS. That's just a common one. In all honesty, at that point, when you have ships like that, now remember, the Sin of the Stars is a civilian ship. Any civilian ship doesn't have one of those. As far as military, as far as I know, all militaries have SS of some sort. Now you could put on that either Venus Space Fleet or something like that. Now you're gonna have to go back. I don't have my notes in front of me, but there was 5 different factions on Venus, so you can't just throw it under one umbrella. It's got to be one of the 5. You could do it with Mars, you could do it with Earth, but you can't do it with Venus. So just keep that in mind. So I would recommend either you use the SS, but put an E for Earth, V for Venus, or M for Mars. If you, I don't think you're going to be working with the colony, so don't worry about that too much. Guard says the creators at Crimson Desert have already considered increasing how many pets you can have before people are creating armies of cats in armor to fight them. You already got 30 animal slots, and now they're considering making it 60. So you got an army of pussies? Are they, if it's bad weather, that's just a bunch of wet pussy. I mean, it's already angry pussy. If you feed them too much, it's fat pussy. I mean, and then they get in a fight. You're covered in bloody pussy. I mean, that's just wrong. And I mean, let's face it. And after a long trek, they're going to be covered in soot and soil. It's going to be some dirty pussy, and you can have an army of that type of dirty pussy. And I think the jokes can just keep going, guys. I'm pretty sure the jokes can just keep going on that one. Guard continues, I found my shoulders actually sag the moment I heard World of Warcraft. That game is beyond a hollow shell of what it once was. It's not even a shadow. It's just a brown stain on the carpet. Oh, shit, that was good. Oh, man. Oh, do I have another button on that? No, I don't. I think I used it already. I'll just say this one.
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
Yeah, it's nothing but a skid mark. And, I never was really a World of Warcraft player. I mean, I like some of the cinematics that Blizzard made back in the day were well before their time. I mean, holy shit. When you consider, by today's standards, they're, yeah. However, for their time, they were amazing. I mean, the original cinematics for StarCraft were made by Blizzard, and they, again, by today's standard, they suck. But by the time standards then, they were well beyond their time. And even the what was it, the cinematic where they were trying to clear a space station and the thing was just covered in Zerg, that was It may have looked terrible, but the pacing was good. The shadowing was good. It just worked. So anyway, Guard continues with the kind of stain that you've spent a month trying to get rid of, but it's still there, and you're considering just take a blowtorch to it. I just say throw it out at that point. Just throw it the fuck out. They straight up went through with what they said they were going to do with the orcs, which was turn them from a warrior race to a race of green Mexicanos. I don't know what to say on that one. I haven't played it, so I don't know exactly what you mean on that. However, I think the way they're prancing around, maybe some chicas would be better. I don't know. Guard continues. They gutted the warrior part about the orcs and just put whatever they thought they would scratch this. That would scratch this race. Check mark there. Yeah, it looks just so bad, just so bad. Oh man, and sorry, I had to move something before it dropped. The thing with the orcs, I mean, you could easily have, like fights and stuff in an arena or bar fights, going after the same woman or something like that. And it would have actually worked a little better if they now showed the female orcs in more prominence, but they don't. They focus on the warriors, which are usually the guys, even though apparently the females are pretty badass. A lot of the mixing of the races, I mean, if they just wanted a game where you converse with everybody, they would have to put in there the cultural differences, where you walking up and say, hey, high five, putting your hand up could be considered by, I don't know, an elder dwarf or something as a sign of disrespect. You don't know. Of course, you don't want to piss off a dwarf. They're going to punch up your friggin' nuts right into your friggin' throat, just like Punch Up does. War Sniper jumps in here. He says, oh, Sin, I'm being called 3 times a P word for liking anime characters. So Mario being masculine is still mild in my standard. Yeah. You're called a PDF file. I will say a while back, and I'm talking like 20 years, they kind of had something on that because they had something like Sailor Moon. And I feel dirty, even as like a 10-year-old. My sister used to watch that show, and I'm like, okay, well, let's see what's going to happen. It turned out to be the same shit every time. And then you see the transformation, like, oh, I can't believe they're getting away with that. And then you find out they're 14 years old. I will just say this once. Ugh. It's creepy, okay? Even as a friggin', once you get in your higher teens, you just feel dirty. Just no. It's just, absolutely not. Just no. Just, ugh. Anyway, down here, War Sniper goes, Sin, the War Thunder can get a B-52 Strato Fortress. Oh boy. I don't know how you're going to work with that, if you're going to try and do a fleet thing or what. All I know is that thing carries a hell of a lot. Not nearly as much as the B1, but it still carries a lot. Let's see. War Sniper saying, Sin, in the beginning that humanity left Earth and started colonizing other planets, did humanity already have molecular assemblers, or how you type that? Molecular, and then just, you got assemble. Well, assemblers is with an E. That second A is an E. Molecular is just spelt the same way as before. Anyways, You know, I never went truly into that, but you got to remember they did have a full release of technology, which gives the idea that they had that before. And this thing beeped at me, so I don't know if I just lost a bunch of you guys. It would make sense that they would have it because they would have needed it. You cannot bring enough supplies for that many people on long trips without having some way of recycling whatever the hell's going on. I mean, in a way, you could say it makes you eat shit, but, or I should say, hold on, but it's better than not eating. Especially once the taste gets changed. Because, I mean, it would have to. Yeah, that's a Shinano butt. That's what you're saying? And it's going to get me in trouble, so I'm going to pull that off of there quick. That just sounded wrong. I'm going to pull that off.
Hicks doesn't trust me right now.
Really? Why not?
Because I got to use a sniper rifle and I ended up unloading a round into her ass.
Hey, chicka bum bum.
Caboose, what did I tell you about that?
Sorry.
Okay, guard here. Trying to do my broken strat for Halo Wars 2, but God, I forget how long it takes to get set up and ready. Me personally on Halo 2, I was big on grabbing not only the main base, but whatever small ones I could in the general facility and just grabbing as much resources as I could right off the bat. Because just like any army runs on its stomach, when I actually did play Halo Wars 1 and 2 online with folks for maybe about a year, and I kind of got away from it. One of the main things is I understood that without logistics, you don't get very far. Now, if you're playing against a bot, this is a lot harder to do because they just randomly hit you. However, most people realize that there's basically a border that if you cross, you're going to get attacked. But in the beginning, unless you're trying to rush, you don't cross that. So what I would do is I would build up as fast as I can with the logistics and some sort of QRF, quick response force, usually some Humvees or Warthogs. And I would have them on a certain call, a certain combination, just like XAX or something like that. And all of a sudden I would get them and just click there and they would just come running. But that was me. That's the way I did it. But as soon as I got enough logistics and I climbed up the tech tree enough, well, let's just say my side always won. I can't say always because there's a few times somebody said, here's your ass. So I still remember we got hit with like 4? Yeah, 4 scarabs on one side of the map, 2 scarabs on the other at the same time. They did a time on target, and they fucked us up. I mean, they didn't totally wipe us out, but they fucked us up bad. And by the time we took those things out, it was already too late to salvage anything. It was one of the games we lost. And
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
There's Joseph coming in with a $5 super chat as he says, brains. You have any idea how difficult it was to find a friggin' soundbite of that wasn't like a half a second long? At most, it was like 2 seconds. And then I found the one that I used, which was like 20 some odd seconds. But like the first like 10 almost, you can't freaking hear anything. And you can barely tell. And then you hear the guy go, brains, brains, brains. And it's like, okay. Sorry, guys, writing this down so I know who to give the shout out to. All right. Once again, using his brain, Joseph. And thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, so far. And let me scroll back up here. Somewhere around here. I wasn't that far off. Guard says, yeah, we can get B-52s, but we also have to play that god awful Nuclear War April Fool's event. Yeah.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Something is right because I think there's a demon in here. somebody with a $20 super chat. And let me write that down. SS Demon, which sounds a lot like War Sniper's new battleship. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. As he says, some of us sent you ships for my ship, but you couldn't use them all. Was thinking you could make a story using them. Saw a few of us made anti-slavery captains, so maybe you could make a story about a ragtag group of slave hunters. I think I wrote that before, but I don't think I recorded it. Believe it or not, and I hope you guys mind I don't go on a side rant on this. One of the ways that I was actually going to save Star Wars, if they let me write for them, was, in fact, to have a group go out and start salvaging all the ships from the battlefield, putting them together, and then actually actively hunting slave traders. And when they free the slaves, they literally look at the slave traders and say, thank you for being so nice. And then they freaking shoot them. And they're not nice. They start on the toes and they work their way up, taking everything out that you have two of, ending with the eyes. Anyways, they give the slaves the option, either A, we can drop you off at your home with about 2 weeks worth of provisions and, you know, a weapon to survive and this, that, and the other, or you can stay here, work on our crew, and we can go save some more. And that was going to be the premise behind, in particular, the screenplay I had started for the Monday Mandalorian before they went totally woke. And it was going to be their group. They had already set up a colony and they got raided. And they called the Mandalorians and actually commissioned them to go and save mainly children out there. And one of the key things, spoiler alert, is every time they check in with the guy who commissioned them, who actually started this slave fleet, when you first see him, he's kind of messed up because he was in the battle and there's like, why don't you get it? And he has somebody move him around. You realize one of his legs been blown off. They do have one still barely functioning pod of, what do they call it? Bantha piss or whatever that they use to do that. But he's letting everybody else heal before he goes. So you see him actually deteriorating over time to the point where by the time they get all the kids back, he's barely hanging on and they actually have to rush him out, and he hands over control of his rescued fleet to the Mandalorians, and they get to cherry pick whatever ships they want for their own fleet. And that right there was to not only plus up their numbers, because now they have all these foundlings that they can raise to be Mandalorians of all different species, from the Thrawn's species, Chiss, I think that is, all the way to the tailheads to hell Huts if you wanted. You know, all these different ones. It's opened so many fucking doors so that they could do so much with it. However, of course, who am I? I'm just someone who actually knows a good story. I'm not in the group. I'm not in the club. And by the way, it's the club they beat the shit over your, you know, hit you over the head with, saying, but this movie's actually good. But yeah, I did actually do something like you were talking about, Demon, and that's where that was originally going to come from. I didn't finish it specifically because I started writing for you guys, and I didn't even want to do it anymore. Honestly, off the top of my head, I don't even remember what the name of the guy who commissions the Mandalorians is. I don't even remember the name. It was something really weird, too. I had to look in the extended universe names to find something. But anyway, Demon, thank you again very much. And I'm glad you're here. I wouldn't be surprised if you get... Oh, well, there you go. I scrolled down two things, and he says he's got to go back to work. Everybody say goodbye to Demon. And I'm glad you're here. Glad to see you're still kicking around. So anyways, let me scroll up. Where was I? Oh, crap. I don't remember where I was. Yep, there's that nuclear April Fool's joke. And then the Shinano, but okay, I'm getting where I want to. Guard saying, trying to do, that broken stat. Yep. Let's see. Guard saying, one of the groups I could play as is called Colony, and they have the ability to first off self-heal as their last leader skill, and second, create little robots that boost the health and damage. You always want to keep your folks in the fight for as long as possible. And this is one of the things I kept, again, when I used to play MechWarrior Online, I used to harp this all the time. Like, guys, pull all your weapons off, stack the armor on, and then put your weapons on. Pull your jump jet. If you're not a jump jet player, pull your jump jets off, pull all that shit off, and then go. And a lot of them couldn't figure out why. And then maybe a week or two later, they'd be on my team again. Dude, you were so right. The extra armor, I could stay in. I'm like, no shit. The extra armor keeps you alive. Duh. The hell you think it's there for? But if you can self-heal, that's a major, major bonus. He continues, my entire plan for this strategy is just straight up abuse and heal the robots to get myself the super units in the game and then steamroll the enemy. Yeah, one of the actual things I used to do in Halo Wars that pissed everybody off is if I didn't go for the super big units, I just railgunned put a railgun on every single one of my warthogs and just not drive into their base, but drive by. And if you got that many and you tell them to go up, say your base is right there, and they come across, they go up around and they make one circle and go past, they might not take the whole thing out, but they're moving so much that the cannons can't get a good shot. Or the enemy cannons can't get a good shot. And by the time they realize what's going on, you probably destroyed half of their logistics capabilities. Sorry, guys. I think I got a bug up my nose. Ha. Let's see. Continues. The super shorty is what people refer with shotguns, if I remember correctly. It's the Italian one that the police officers like using sometimes here in the U.S. Oh, you're talking like a breach shot. Yeah, Now, if you're the shorty, if you're thinking about the one that just has the pistol grip, that's still just I don't know why you'd have a weird name for that. As far as a shorty, as in a sawed-off shotgun, yeah, cops wouldn't use that. Main reason, you can only put, since you've shortened the barrel, you can only put like 2 or 3 rounds in the tube. And you never have one in the breech. You have a shucked round in the breech. Because when you go up there, if you accidentally, it's surprisingly easy, especially if things across your back to, set that thing off. Because you don't, especially shotguns, I don't know why, but you cannot hear that safety come off. At least with my rifle, every time I take the safety off, there's an actual metallic click. And I actually know for a fact that we almost lost one of our guys in Alpha Company because, well, they were pulling stuff out of the back of the Humvee, shotgun caught on something, and just about took a shoulder off. So, yeah. And it takes at minimum 3 rounds to take out a one hinge. So you need at least 6 to 9 rounds to actually breach through a door. Now, if you're talking about the old pistol-sized double barrel shotguns, that would make sense for a shorty. Let's see. War Sniper says, I plan to make the AI of the logistics ship that helps the consolidation ship look like a character in Goddess of Victory Nikki. Okay, I don't know if that's an anime, a comic, or what that is, so I have nothing to say. Skip, our wonderful Navy guy, he's the one you need to talk to. He says SF or SS on commercial ship stands for state ship, which is a legal designation for under a country's flag. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I know it's USS for most of our ships, so that kind of makes sense, unless USS stands for something else. Is it supposed to be a United States ship or something like that? That honestly, since I didn't talk much about the designations on that, War Sniper, if you're gonna, create your own ship for that, just go nuts. Like I said, just go nuts. You don't have to worry about it. I'm not gonna raise any red flags or nothing. As long as it doesn't piss on the story itself, you're good. Enjoy it. See. War Sniper again. Sin, the story starts when humanity starts to leave the planet, colonizing Mars first, and after the logistics ship will get a warp malfunction and warp blind, and then the segment how the Titan Destroyer came to be, and after the Battle of Venus will happen, and after how the war happened, hope you're good with radio chatter. Well, as far as radio chatter goes, I might have something specifically that I use for the radio chatter, especially when it's folks coming in, not the stuff going out. I would use something else like this, but that's just unless I'm talking to an actual through a translator, then I use this one. And I'm still grateful for the soundboard, guys. But then again, I gotta be careful. I don't use certain. I could use this one. I mean, personally, I could. I don't use it's listed here as small robot. But then again, we got pitch up.
That makes me sound like a fucking minion. Makes me sound like Alvin just got kicked in the fucking nuts. So, yeah. Unless I'm trying to joke around with my nieces going, what? Then no. So, yeah. And then, of course, I keep
monster here just in case Demon and them get in there.
The fun part is I just got the connector pieces, so hopefully I can organize this damn thing. I'm flipping through them right now, and unfortunately I got an entire block that's empty. Anyway, yeah, I got no problems with radio chatter. Just remember, whatever's coming in is going to most likely have this, specifically to sound different. I mean,
I could switch. Oh,
not that one. Not that one.
I could again switch to this one. Okay. Usually don't.
So, anyways, Erica says, "Hey, felines have anywhere from 75 to 85 successful hunt rate. Now blend that with human endurance capabilities, creativity, adaptability, and prettiness, and you got nope." Yeah, if you're talking about, I think I took it. Yeah, I did. If you're talking about something familiar, you're right. They would be very good at what they do. The kicker is the reason they're having so much problems is they're facing someone who doesn't quite have the endurance, has pretty much the same amount of mental capacities as far as creativity, adaptability, and stuff like that, but is a hell of a lot stronger and a lot bigger, and also has the wherewithal to use the herd they're protecting as a weapon. That can be dangerous. That's like if how do I put this? It'd be like somebody being able to herd all the gazelle, or like a kid being able to herd the gazelle away from a lion. Yeah, could he do it effectively? Could they run the gazelle right into the lions and slam into him so hard that most of them would just tumble over and not realize what the hell has happened? Sure. And that would then start starving out the lions because they would be unsuccessful in the hunts. War Sniper also said, I've sent you on Discord in your DM. How far am I? I can't open Discord on this. I tried and we lost the stream, so I'm not going to do that one. Guardian Sage here. I've never played WoW for 3 years. I've never been particularly good at games of that style of play. 2, I've never had the money to spare for it. That's a big one right there. I hate subscription models, and they were the first ones, especially for games. He says, and 3, just wasn't interested. Hey, to each their own. Everybody has their own personal. I know a guy who just loves horror games, and I'm sitting there going, I'm going to have a beer. You play your games. We'll talk while you play your horror game, but whatever. And he got hooked on one where you ran around with a camera trying to take pictures of ghosts because that's the only way to get rid of them, or some such thing like that. I guarantee somebody out there is like, I know that game. I remember that game. I'm sure you do. I just have no freaking idea what the name is. So anyway, yeah, I don't do subscription model. And guys, I am still fighting it on YouTube. I'm also fighting using AI for the thumbnails and for a little background stuff like that. I don't know how long I can hold out, guys, but I'm holding the line. I'm holding the line as best I can. And, I could put the video back. No, wait, I took it off. God damn it. Whatever. The one where it's, hold the line and you shall not pass and all that other fun shit. Anyways, Guard also says, no, the marathon thing I said, the joke was there's more, pornography of marathons than there okay. So they rule 34'd them. That's what you meant, Guard. They rule 34'd the characters on marathon. Then there are actual players on the game. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. A whole lot of sense, man. So much more. But like they say, Rule 34 exists for a reason. And yeah. So anyways, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if they have anything that even looks human female-ish, they're going to Rule 34. I mean, look at how much crap they got for SCPs. I mean, it's oh my God. The thing is, I'm not into furries or anything like that. I'm like, okay, that's interesting. Goodbye. Guard also says, and speaking of Roblox, they're actually still in the middle of being sued by the states of Georgia and Virginia for not enforcing child safety measures on their games. After I saw that interview on the Sean Ryan show where the guy broke it down, where Roblox was like the number one for a bunch of these guys trying to like go after kid, I was so pissed. I immediately told my my sisters, my freaking brother and his wife and everybody like that, get your kids away from that shit and block it. Actually, just remove it. Now, only one of my nieces asked me why. I said, your sister's too young to hear what I'm about to say, or any of us. And then I looked at her mom and I was like, you want to take this? She goes, I'll talk about it later. I don't know if she ever did, but I hope she did. Because no. Okay, by the way, don't ever do that. I'm dizzy. I need a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I actually went to read and the words were doing this shit. But yeah, Roblox is just horrible. Just keep kids away from it. It's not worth it. Okay, Guardian says, I did play the original Warcraft, Orcs and Humans. Yep. Pretty much the only factions at that point. And Guard says, and pretty much letting adult Roblox servers rule the entire thing, even though they're not supposed to be allowed on there. Hold on. But since they pay a buku amount of money, they let them stay. Yeah, money talks and bullshit walks. It's always follow the money, people. It's always follow the fucking money. And that's how I know that our tech industry is a lot farther ahead than they let us know. Because if you follow the money, you'll realize that they'll stop certain technologies specifically because it's going to cause them to lose money. So these self-righteous rich ass, and the thing is, these are the type of people that have so much money. To them, it's like monopoly money. It doesn't matter anymore. As far as they're concerned, their word is law. They don't have to pay for anything because it's nothing to them. Okay, Chris says, by the way, I picked up a still in box pre-87 AK today. Oh, so you had the one with all 4 settings. Depending on your state, that might be illegal. I don't know where you are. You don't have to tell me. All I know is I hope you checked in with state law. And for those of you who don't understand what's going on, the AK, the Kalashnikov, as everybody seems to know it, had originally 4 settings. Okay. And this is, without these 4 settings, it cannot be considered a assault rifle. Okay. Which is why I kind of laugh, because even when I was in basic training, when I had the M4A2s, they only had 3 of the 4 settings, not the other 4. And even today, there's 3, not the same, but there's only 3 settings on the current M4s that they use that I taught the guys in basic training. The 4 settings are safe, semi, 3-round burst, and full automatic. Without that 4-way setting, it's not a true assault weapon. And if anybody says otherwise, I got a bridge to sell you, because that is an actual definition. And next time somebody says, oh, but that's an assault weapon. Oh, really? Your shoes are assault weapons. Give me your shoes. As soon as they hand over, no, socks do. You could choke me out with your socks. Come on. All right. Gloves. You can choke me with those too. You can throw them at me. That's assault. Keep going. See how far you get before they realize they're about to be stripped naked. In all honesty, once you get to that point, you tell them, okay, now I have to shackle your legs, handcuff your hands, put them behind your back, put a ball gag in your mouth. And unless they're the type of person who enjoys that sort of shit, they're going to realize really fucking quick that they don't feel safe at all. Okay, Joseph saying, I made a clip from Send More Paramedics. Brains is a hard one to clip cleanly. Yeah, it is. It's very hard to clip cleanly. I didn't do the clipping myself, but I know others. If you can send me the actual audio there, Joseph, I will put it in the rotation. Let's see. Demon says, well, oh, that's when he said he had to get back to work. Okay. You lost your internet? Yeah, we've been having storms coming through, so it's not surprising, Doug, that you lost your internet, which is why we're not going to be on for too much longer, especially since I'm starting to lose my voice. War Sniper here with Sin. I'm going to use some Modern Warfare 2 radio chatter while alien invasion of a colony is happening. And I promise you, it will be very chaotic and terrifying and sounding desperate if you can nail it. Believe it or not, when I did the original run through of the battle, I actually read the whole thing out loud to myself first, but I still kept fumbling over my words. But I also had to sit here with my hand over on the side, so whenever it was the right time to hit this thing, I could change it.
Get this thing.
Oh, wrong button. See, that's how easy it is to screw it up, and then I'd have to stop and go back and make sure I'm hitting the right button and all that other fun shit. So yeah. I got a lot up on that. Anyways, let me go back here. Chris says, did Erica just describe herself? She described herself several times over the course of several different streams. I don't know where that's going. Chris says, what's your comment about cute cat hunters? Oh, there's Erica. Not really. I'm spiteful, but very selective on when and how I unleash it. I don't hunt. Setting in a stand, freezing my ass and other parts off sounds like a bad time. I will hunt if I have to. I'm more chilled and never outgrew my dinosaur and ice age animals phase. Well, ice age is still funny. I like history, mythology, folklore, and legend. Also, I'm a horrible shot. It's lucky I hit the broad side of a huge ass barn. Okay, if the barn's in the shape of an ass, I'd be worried about putting a hole in it and seeing what comes out. I will say this, though. When I went out hunting this year, I was only out there for 30 minutes. I got to my stand about 15 minutes before the sun started to come up, and it was just starting to breach. When I hear that deer come up behind me, I turn and I pull up, I go to squeeze the trigger, and I realize I didn't cock the hammer back. So I cocked the hammer back, and unfortunately, because of that, I whiffed my shot just a little bit. I pulled just a little, and that the bullet went high. Not enough to stop, or not enough to keep her from dropping. I just prefer a down. Just one hit, they're down on the ground. But she made like 3 strides, spun, and she was down. Through and through on the lungs, she actually suffocated. Which sounds horrible, but it's a lot faster than other ways. I just want to make sure it's good. And also, Erica, it's not that you're a horrible shot. You probably flinch real bad. There are ways to fix that. When I first started shooting as a kid, I was lucky I hit the ground. I was so bad. So you can get better. And by the way, if you're in your stand freezing, you did something wrong. You did something very wrong. You either didn't dress for it or you didn't prep the stand itself, because a lot of people sit on the like 2x4s or 2x6 they have that's under their butt, and they don't put any padding, no insulation. That's the key thing. In the winter, and I've talked about this in a couple of the stories too, you have to put something in between the ground, the cold ground, and yourself. If not, the cold ground is going to literally suck the heat right out of you. And, it's going to suck you, and not in a good way. So, anyway, and yeah, as far as the cat hunters, yeah, I think I hit enough of that already. I don't think I can come up with another joke without thinking about it. Anyways, War Sniper says, great, now I need to listen to how Sin of the Stars talked with the space station controller. Now, believe it or not, I had to look a bunch of stuff up. I'm not a pilot. I had to look up how pilots talk and certain I don't want to say jargon, because that's not quite the right thing. Like, case in point, if a pilot's flying and giving you their direction, they would say your altitude is 15,000 feet and you're going west. It's Angels 15, track west. It's that fast. And believe it or not, I had to write it down, because if I don't read it, I won't say it fast enough like an actual pilot. And one of the best ones, and believe it or not, when the craft went into Venus and ended up being engaged by their own forces, you know where I got almost all the extra jargon from? The movies The Incredibles. Okay? Mayday, mayday, mayday. We've been buddy spiked, and all that. I didn't know what buddy spiked was. I mean, it's bad enough when we worked with the Air Force or the Navy, they said, we're going to mark the target. Look for the sparkle. I'm like, are they talking about the strobe light that's going off? Because I can't fucking see a sparkle. What the hell are they talking about? And then we found out, yes, that's what they call it. They call it sparkle. It's like, okay, asshole, we don't know what the fuck you mean. Say what you mean. It's like when I'm here talking with regular people, I don't say I need to go to the latrine. I say I gotta, I need to go to the bathroom. I need to go to the restroom. It's crazy. Let's see. Guard says, how to know you definitely had a broken weapon in this game is when the shield that you're using does more melee damage than the greatsword you're using in Elden Ring Night Rain. At least you're not playing 1480, whatever the hell it is, with the woman swinging a two-handed broadsword one-handed.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
That is Skip coming back with a $10 super sticker. No comment this time. Very much appreciated. And he's actually right there on the bottom here. We're pretty much at the bottom of everything. I'm going to play another one of these videos just for the shits and giggles of it. And right about, you know what? We've seen enough tanks. Let's get away from tanks for a little bit. I mean, thank you all for being here, but let's do this.
The reactor's almost critical. Hold your ground.
Oh, that's fun. Anyway, guard says, like, I'm sorry, I am beating the hell out of a boss with nothing more but a shield. Hey, believe it or not, the shield, before the invention of gunpowder and firearms, the shield was actually the most effective weapon on the battlefield, which is why even in the Roman area, they would beat the holy piss out of a army of like samurai. It was actually against the samurai code to use a shield. You could wear armor, but you could not use a shield, mainly because the katana was meant to be a two-handed weapon, even though it's extremely light. And the more research I find out about it, the more I realize that thing's a piece of shit. It works great 2 or 3 times, but it cannot put up with the stress of actual combat. The blade will be completely just destroyed. Now, can you reforge it? Sure, no problem. It's just, yeah. The actual shield, like the Spartan shield, because it was bronze, that son of a bitch was heavy. And it was actually 2 bronze plates with a piece of leather inside. So when you actually struck with it, yeah, you feel the hit. But when the hit comes in, it gives just enough where it wouldn't break your arm. There was also kind of a bit of a pad there, which was really smart. And it's just a much better design. And they did, I don't know if you guys remember, there was something called like Greatest Warrior or something like that, Strongest Warrior, something like that. And they put all the weapons and the armor to the test. And the biggest change, or biggest game changer for the pre-black powder or pre-ballistic age was the shield, in particular the Spartan shield. Even the doctor, when they did the actual impact study, they're like, I've seen car accidents that don't put this much force into you. And that's on like the edge of the shield is it's lethal. Let's see. Guard saying, my great sword, while two-handing it does 487 damage. Light swing is 586 with a heavy swing around $700 with a charged heavy swing. The shield I'm using does 485 with a light attack, 611 with a heavy attack, and 858 with a charged heavy attack. The shield is out damaging the sword. And it's hilarious. The shields always out damage the sword. Or that's the thing. The only ones that, I mean, how do I put this? If you put a sword versus a shield, the shield always wins. And there's a good reason for that. The shield itself is a very bulky piece. Even when the Romans decided to lighten them up by making them basically out of plywood, those things were still strong enough that they deflected pretty much anything. The only thing they would not deflect is a straight up ballista, especially at close range, or an actual catapult, which they did not have many of them. And the actual ballistas, you would have to actually put a certain type of bolt to go through that shield. It's one of those things that, like back in the Civil War, there was actually a big, or not Civil War, the Revolutionary War, and even in the times of Napoleon, they were trying to bring the shield back and actually have shield bearers that would run up And before the volley came in, they would slam the shield into the ground, tilt it back about 30 to 40 degrees, and just hold it there and let the rounds bounce off. And then your buddies would come next to you on either side and fire. And then as they're reloading, they would get behind you. Your job is just to hold it there to protect them. It never came to fruition for I have no idea what reason. Maybe the damn things were just too heavy. I don't know. Guards also saying, and the shield has the buff with each successful guard. I get back 10% of health loss in the attack. Okay. It's actually pretty good. And also, I was doing a little bit more research on the katana, and this is one of the reasons I've turned against it so much, is because if you're putting it up against any type of other sword, even a Spanish rapier, and those are very, by Western standards, those are very thin. It couldn't take the damage. It would start to splinter. It would start to crack. The katana cannot handle the type of force against an armored opponent. It's just the way it is. I don't know. Well, how do I put this? I know why everybody gets so amazed by it, because it was in the original Highlander and everyone's like, oh man, it must be the greatest sword ever because the Highlander using it. No. In all honesty, that was kind of a spit in the face to the actual Scottish heritage. The man should have been carrying around a fucking claymore. Claymores on most of them were not nearly as long as you would think, yet any longer than the actual ones, which is about 4.5 feet. Up to maybe 5 from tip to pummel. But they were, if you turned them sideways, so the blade was up and down, they're about 4 inches wide. The reason for that is they were dual purpose. They were not just for the people on the ground. They were meant to actually bring up like friggin' Guts from Berserk and come down on riders and horses. You're supposed to take out both with one hit. That's what that was for. It was supposed to get through the armor, get through the hide, and get through both rider and horse at the same time. The fact that if you hit a person with it, even if it didn't go, say they held up their shield, they're going backwards just from kinetic force. Literally, batter up. I can see my house from here. Just that simple. So, anyway, we've been going for about a little over 2 hours now. And I look around and, do I have that queued up? Damn it. No, I don't. Shit. I look and I see.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? No! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
Keep watching, assholes. I had to remember to hit this. Whenever you have one of these stream decks, you always have, that's the first thing I heard, is always have a cancel button. Just to make sure you can do that. So, anyways, you know what? I'm going to throw this one back on. I'm just going to run. I'm going to try something, guys. Don't kill me.
Actor online. Sensors on.
Hold the line!
I still laughed so hard when I made that. I don't know why. It was just funny. Even though those tanks definitely did not move like that. And, you know, I'm just going to go back to here, see if there's any more comments. There really isn't. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I will try to make more of those. Again, it comes down to time, and we were just too damn busy today. At least me. I was, we had people visiting. I had to take care of my dad. It was a big mess. But hopefully, if I get everything done, because tomorrow is going to be my day to run around, my once a month run around to get everything done. I should be able to write most of the when I get back, hopefully. And if nothing else, I'll do quick notes and do an off the cuff. Because just remember, this next story is going to be like, human, why is it so big? Well, not what you're thinking again. But that's probably going to be the title. So anyways, cargo train in Space Captain Casey Jones. All right, I'll see you later, Demon. You know what? I'm going to write that down. Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to write that down. Cargo train. Space Captain Casey Jones. All right. Looks like everybody's about ready to leave anyway. So I am going to send you all off by giving you your safety brief. Everybody knows if you drink, you don't drive. If you drive, you don't drink. If your buddy wants to drink and drive, feel free to beat their ass. It's better to explain to their wife why you broke their nose than explain to the wife why he broke his neck. Also, I was out earlier today. I passed not one, not two, but 3 herds of deer this morning. Plus, I had a possum run out in front of me. So be careful on the roads, guys. There are critters. Now that the snow is going away, they're going to be looking for whatever fresh grass they got. And just like all us guys, we know we like our fresh ass. And they're going to stick their heads right in the fresh ass. And they're going to just munch up the fresh ass. And yeah. So again, be careful. It's not worth ripping your fender off. Most everybody does their traveling on the highway. You shouldn't have to worry about it too much. But anybody on the side roads, again, be careful. Don't have to worry about black ice anymore. Always nice. Aside from that, guys, let's see. So the only other thing is if your little soldier is going into the bush, make sure he wears his poncho. It gets wet in the bush if you know what you're doing. Giggity, giggity, giggity goo. Stick around. All right, and that's going to be it for me. Take care, everybody. I will see you all right here next week on Syntax Live. This is your host, and I'm